Is first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to re-go over my my rig run through, because when I did it yesterday I was showing you everything and you couldn't hear a fucking word I was saying. So that's pretty much kind of pointless. So we're going to go ahead and start off with that. So first thing, I can stop stepping on my goddamn headphones. Yeah. Attach these to my pocket. Alright, so my amps. This thing will actually fucking go into my pocket. There. Stay. Okay. So, amps. Alright, so first amp is obviously it's a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. This is that 1994 black face silver chassis that I told you guys about. Right now I'm using it on the red channel. I tried, normally when I play it live I use it on the orange channel. The red channel is kind of like the lead channel, and the orange channel is kind of like the rhythm channel, which is what these little lights here. It looks like anytime I've seen Adam use it, he's also using it on the orange channel, which makes sense. It's a little bit darker. It's got a little bit more solid distortion. It's kind of similar, but it's a little less compressed, I guess, maybe is probably the proper word for it. I'm running 6L6s in it, because I think that's just what it came with. I haven't actually changed out the tubes in this thing since I got it. But these are the settings I'm using. This is going to be kind of awkward too, because I don't have a viewfinder obviously for my webcam, so I just got to kind of look over at the computer screen while I'm holding this up here. For the settings, I've pretty much got. Normally, what I run is I pretty much run everything the same. I run the mids, the bass, and the treble pretty much the same. I either run them straight up to the in the middle, or I run them about 60% each. Maybe I back off on the treble a little bit. This thing adds a lot of dark bassy gain to the mix. These things are really fucking dark and really compressed. Gives it a lot of really nice grungy tone. But since just the nature of how I'm doing the stream, that's why I'm using the lead channel, because it's a little bit brighter without actually having to turn up the treble and stuff like that. Because when you turn up the treble on these things too far, it gets really tinny sounding. The settings on this thing are actually really touchy compared to some of the other amps that I own. I mean, there's not very many places where this thing can really sound really good, but when you find the right settings, this thing sounds amazing. Alright, so that's the dual rectifier. It's sitting on a Marshall cab, which is 1960 vintage, so it's got the vintage 30s in it. And then I got my shitty case over there. I got a SM57 on it. And then over here, we got the diesel VH4 that I'm running on channel 3. And because I'm a huge nerd, I put the little settings markers on there just for shits and giggles, kind of like how he's got it on his VH4, just because I'm that big of a dork. I run my gain a little quite a bit hotter than his. I got mine about 3/4 of the way, whereas he runs his about halfway, just because I'm running at such low volume. Other than that, the settings are pretty much exactly the same as his. You crank the mids, you got the bass about 75%, and then you got the treble just a little bit hotter than that. And then it's got the deep and the presence over here, which is really nice. I love those settings. Those add a lot of texture to the tone. I think I got 6L6s in this thing as well. I think it maybe used to have EL34s, but they took a crap on me, and I ended up switching to 6L6s just because they were cheaper at the time. Yeah, so let's see. Then in-ear monitors for when I play live in it. I got this thing, which is a Boss RT20, which is a Leslie simulator. which I've been experimenting with for Wings for Marie, and it's pretty decent. It's not bad. The problem with this thing is that it really affects your tone when you turn it on. It adds a lot of gain to your tone, even if you have the gain knob all the way down on it, because all the settings for the different Leslie emulators are actually emulating like the actual cabinets and like mic'd and stuff like that. So you're getting that extra gain from just the actual emulation. So it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's nifty, especially when you run it in stereo. Because I got this expression pedal over here that I plug into it, and then I can run it in stereo. I run 2 amps into it, one left, one right, and then I can use the expression pedal to control the speed of the rotation, and it's, you know, swooshes around back and forth. Kinda, it's close to how it sounds on the album. I don't know exactly what he's using, but it's pretty close to this. And then there's my splitter. It's a Delisle. It's a 3 amp splitter. I went with Delisle mainly because the price was good, and it's got a polarity switch on it. In case one of your amps is oh, what the hell's the word for it? Out of sync with the other ones. There's a word for it. I can't remember exactly what it is. But if it's just got a different polarity, which means like basically if you got 1 amp, the speakers are getting pushed out on it. At the same time as your other amp, the speakers are going in on it. It's going to phase cancel out a lot of your sound. If they're out of phase is the term for it. It'll cancel out a lot of your sound, and your sound will sound really thin and shitty. So what you do is you find, in my case I'm running 3 amps most of the time. You find the one that's out of phase with the other 2, and you put it on the input that the polarity switch is there, that the polarity switch controls, and then you can switch the polarity of that input, and it'll put that other amp in phase with the other amps. No, it's not latency. Yeah, it's phasing issues. So yeah, that's why I got that. My other switcher I was using before that was this, which is the Radial Bones, which is an excellent switcher. It's got 2 inputs on it. And this one also has a ground lift, which is extremely nice for noisy amps, which that Boogie can be pretty noisy, especially on the orange channel for some reason. You throw that lift switch on and it cancels out a lot of that ground noise, that hum, and just that annoying shit. So that's that. I got the Diesel on a oversized. Oh, whoa! Way out of focus. I got the Diesel on an oversized Mesa Recto cabinet, a 4x12. And then I got a. You probably can't see it because it's dark as shit in here. I got a Heil PR30 mic on the cabinet. And then over here to the Marshall. On top of the Marshall, I got my mixer. I almost said mixing board. It's not exactly a mixing board. It's just a mixer that I use to, you know, combine all 3 of my amp mics into one signal that I send to my interface for my PC. You know, so I got like the Diesel over here, the Boogie here, and then the Marshall over here, which is muted since I'm not using it, and I don't want that other mic picking up any room sound. I don't really run anything crazy on it, no effects or any stupid shit like that, no compression, no nothing. All the knobs are at noon for 0, so it's just a way to get all 3 signals to my computer. And then I got the Hotplate, which is an attenuator, which basically, if you don't know what an attenuator is, it basically takes power. I'm going to explain this wrong, but it basically takes power from the amp, transfers it into heat, and because there's a big old fan on the bottom of this thing, and this thing gets hotter than shit. And then that way what you do is you can have your amp, like I got mine, what would normally be at an extremely high volume, because these things are just really fucking really loud. These Marshalls are really loud. I don't know how the hell he ran this in little venues and shit like that, full blast like he did in the early 90s. But anyway, yeah, so what this basically does is you can run your amp at full volume. You plug this in through the between the speaker and the head, and then you can, it's almost like a master volume. You can control the volume right here, turn it up and down, so that way it's a little bit more manageable. Dude, and someone mentioned disturbing the neighbors. Even with this thing fully attenuated, it's still fucking loud. Like these Marshalls, because this is a Marshall JMP. I think it's a 73. I don't really remember. It's either 73 or 74, because I was looking for quite a few of them before I found this one. But these old Marshall non-master volume amps are ridiculously fucking loud. It's just stupid. I've only ever ran this thing once without the attenuator, and that was a mistake. I pissed off everybody in the venue. But yeah, and then down here is my dusty, nasty old MAudio. It's just I don't remember what the actual name for this damn thing is. MAudio Fast Track Pro. That's what it is. That's what I use. It's a USB interface. Those two mic cables are coming out of the back of the mixer, because there's a left and right output on the back of the mixer. So all three of my mic signals go into the mixer where you saw, and then there's the left and the right that come out the back, and those go into the front there. And then I kind of just match up the signal so it's not out of balance, and that plugs it right into the computer, and you know, that's how I get the sound. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the amps go. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, I think that'll do it for now. Oh, put this back. Oh, yeah, duh. My fucking pedals. I almost forgot that shit again, because I forgot that the first time I did this too. So yeah, give me just 1 second. I gotta move some shit around. And then I'll show you guys my wonderfully crappy pedal board. Alright, see if I can do this. So here, I know it's really, really dark. Oh, I got a question. What happened to the virus? I still got the virus. Actually, I'll explain that in just a second as soon as I run through the pedals, so I don't lose my train of thought completely. Alright, so over here on the right, I got the two master switches. Yeah, it's a wonderful couch. I got the two master switches, which control all of my pedals. It's like an effects loop. I got a couple of them. The one on the far right only controls the wah pedal, and then the one on the left controls all the other pedals. So I got the two master switches. I got the micro amp volume pedal, which is a Goodrich volume pedal. It's a really nice volume pedal. The BB535 wah, Dunlap wah, Boss DD3 delay, BF2 flanger, and then the DoD EQ pedal that I run. My really shitty tuner that was once really nice, but then just got beat to shit. It even has the battery kind of hanging out there. It just doesn't really work anymore. It's a Peterson Strobo Stomp. Really good tuners, but like I said, mine just got the shit beat out of it. And then Voodoo Lab Pedal Power 2 Plus. I don't know what the plus is for, but yeah. So yeah, so right here on this is basically my signal to my amp splitter. Right there, so that this one is going out to the amps, and then this one is going out to my guitar. Okay, and then there's a jumper cable between these two, because this is an amp and a guitar, so it's an in and an out kind of. So you jump the out to the in, right, and then your guitar goes into one in, and your amps go from the other out. And then there's inputs, sends and returns on the sides for all your pedals. Yeah, it's pretty close to the same pedal board. Um, I mean, it's not exact, but you know, whatever. One thing I will recommend to anybody. I know you guys really can't see it that well, but when I made this pedal board, it's just basically a piece of plywood with some fake fucking black leather-ish kind of material on it that I stuck down to it, and then I put a shit ton of what is this shit? Velcro. I put a shit ton of Velcro on it because I didn't know exactly because at the time I made the pedal board, I didn't have all the pedals. And so I was just like, you know, I'm just going to make a big old fat fucking like foot wide strip across this of Velcro with a bunch of different Velcro strips just so I, you know, make sure I had enough Velcro down for anything that I wanted to put on there. Hopefully it's not lagging too bad for everybody. Let me see if I can shut something off here. I'm gonna shut down this. Hopefully, if because I got my my Twitch chat pulled out. It's like a pop-out thing. So hopefully, if I close the actual Twitch stream, it won't fuck anything up. If it does, I'll just reset it. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, there is going to be a delay on the mic. And my wife just got home, so it'll be just a second. Alright, so... But yeah, what I was saying was that I would recommend to anybody, if you're making a pedal board, don't overcommit with the fucking Velcro. Because I put way too much Velcro on, and over time, the heat of shows and, you know, travel, just being in a car for, you know, an hour, a hot car, that Velcro starts to shift, especially on this fake leatherish material. And so you get these, like, this, like, shifting kind of Velcro goo in between the strips. So now there's, like, everything in its mother sticks to this. Dirt, little pieces of wood, all kinds of shit like that, and it's just really fucking nasty. And now, like, there's times where I'll, like, step on the pedal board and I'll get little gooey Velcro nastiness on, you know, my foot or something like that, and it just really sucks. So don't ever put more Velcro on your pedal board than you need to, you know. That's what I would recommend. It'll just help it stay a lot neater because mine's fucking filthy. Alright. And and of course, apart from all the cables and shit over there, there's the guitar. It's a 1980 Silverburst. It's got Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is pretty much stock. It's got a stock neck pickup. I think I might have switched out a pot at one point. I think it was a tone pot just because it was taking a shit on me. And then I use the Ernie Ball hybrid strings for that. So yeah.